Have you ever sat quietly on an afternoon, gazing at the distant sky, reminiscing about the days gone by? Memories rush in like an old film reel, filled with radiant smiles, silent tears, boundless joy, and lingering regrets. They say that the older we get, the more we live in the past. Perhaps it's because the present no longer rushes by as it once did, no longer burdened by the worries of youth, giving us more time to reflect on what has been. But sometimes, the past is not just a collection of beautiful memories. It can also be a heavy burden, a wrong decision, a missed opportunity, a loved one who has gone. All of it lingers in the heart like a sigh. How many of us have asked ourselves, if only I had been braver back then, if I had made a different choice, would life have been better? I wish I could go back and do things differently, but do you know what? Wise elders understand that the past is like a book already written, one we cannot erase or rewrite. All we can do is read it with gratitude, learn from its pages, and then gently close it to fully embrace the life that remains. An elderly woman once told me, the more you hold on to the past, the more you lose the present. Live each day so that it no longer becomes a regret. That sentence made me think a lot. Today, we will talk about how to let go of the past, not to forget it, but to move forward with ease. Because as long as we are alive, we still have the chance to be happy. There's a saying, people don't stumble over the stone ahead of them, but over the one behind them that they keep looking back at. Indeed, the past can be a place where we get stuck if we don't know how to let go. Have you ever sat alone, thinking about a decision from the past, and wondering, if only I had done things differently? Perhaps it was a missed opportunity, an unfulfilled dream, or words left unsaid. These regrets play over and over in our minds like a sad, endless melody. I once knew an elderly man who had a deep passion for painting in his youth. However, due to financial responsibilities, he set aside his dreams to support his family. Now in old age, every time he saw a beautiful painting, he would sigh, if only I had tried a little harder back then, my life might have been different. But what he failed to realize was that while he could not turn back time, he could still pick up a brush now. He had let regret overshadow the joy that was still within his reach. We all carry emotional scars, loss, betrayal, moments of deep hurt. But the longer we hold on to them, the more we wound ourselves. I remember a woman in my neighborhood. She lost her husband early, and her children were always busy. She often sat alone, crying over old memories. The best days of her life had passed, yet she wouldn't allow herself to move forward. Instead of cherishing the time she still had, she lived only in faded memories. Wise elders do not forget what has happened, but they learn to set down their pain gently, allowing peace to enter their hearts. Some people were once wealthy, once had illustrious careers, or once held positions of power. But when those things are gone, they struggle to accept reality. They constantly compare their present life to their once glorious past. I once met an elderly man who had been the CEO of a major company. After retiring, he couldn't accept a simpler life. He would always say, I used to have so many employees, travel to so many countries, but every time he spoke those words, I saw sadness in his eyes. He no longer enjoyed the present, but lived only in what once was. But you know what? The past, whether beautiful or painful, is just one part of life. Wise elders know how to appreciate what they once had, but more importantly, they know how to cherish what they have now. Simple yet profoundly meaningful. There is one truth that everyone must accept. The past is something we cannot change, but the present is within our control. Wise elders understand that clinging to the past only drains them. They do not deny the past or reject their memories. They simply learn to set them down gently so they can move forward. 1. Understanding that the past cannot be changed. An elderly gentleman once confided in me that for many years, he lived in deep regret over a mistake he had made in his youth. He would replay it over and over, blaming himself. If only I had done things differently, if only I had prevented that from happening. But one day, he came to a realization. No matter how much he thought about it, he could never go back to change the past. The only thing he could do was to live the rest of his days fully. Wise elders do not spend their old age dwelling on things they cannot change. Instead, they look ahead and ask themselves, what can I do now to make the most of my life? And in doing so, they rediscover joy. 2. Forgiving themselves and others. Everyone has made mistakes. It is inevitable. But one truth that not everyone realizes is this. We cannot find happiness if we continue to hold on to resentment. One elderly man was once deceived by a close friend, losing a significant amount of money. For years, he lived in anger and bitterness. But one day, he realized that friend had long since disappeared, yet he was still carrying the burden of that pain. He told me, "Forgiving is not about doing something good for them. It's about doing something good for myself. I don't forget, but I set it down so my heart can feel lighter." Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean that the hurt did not matter. But if we hold on to pain, we only trap ourselves in the past. Wise elders choose to let go because they know that only a heart free of burdens has room for joy. 3. Living with gratitude. Life is not just about loss. It is also filled with things to cherish. But sometimes, we focus so much on what we have lost that we forget to appreciate what we still have. Wise elders do not let the past overshadow the present. They are grateful for waking up each morning and seeing the sunlight. They are thankful for having family, friends, and loved ones around them. They even appreciate the smallest things: a warm cup of tea, a gentle breeze, a child's laughter. I once met an elderly woman whose health was no longer what it used to be, yet she smiled every day and said, "At least I still have my eyes to see the world, and my ears to hear my grandchildren laugh." It was this gratitude that kept her joyful, even when life was no longer as perfect as it once was. 4. Creating new joy instead of clinging to old memories. Many older people spend most of their time reminiscing about the past. There is nothing wrong with remembering, but if we only live in memories, we miss out on the beauty of the present. I once knew an elderly man in his 80s who had been a dancer in his youth. Because of aging, he could no longer dance as he once did. But instead of just sitting and reminiscing, he joined a senior dance class, participated in a ballroom dance club, and made new friends. He told me, "Beautiful memories remain, but why not create new ones?" Wise elders do not let happiness exist only in the past. They actively seek joy in the present. 5. Living in the present, not in memories. One of the most important lessons for a happy old age is learning to live fully in the moment. Instead of constantly looking back and saying, "I used to be this, I used to do that," ask yourself, what can I do today to feel happy? Who can I connect with to share joy? An elderly woman I know once said something very profound. If we keep thinking about what we've lost, we will never see what is right in front of us. So, instead of mourning the past or holding on to painful memories, embrace each day that you still have. Because, in truth, the present is the greatest gift life has given us. There is a saying, the past is a place to learn from, not a place to live. Yet sadly, too many people spend their old age dwelling in days gone by, whether it is in fond memories or lingering regrets. Wise elders understand that the past can be a beautiful story or a valuable lesson, but it should never be a chain that holds them back. No matter how much we regret or wish to turn back time, life only moves in one direction, forward. In reality, happiness does not reside in the good old days. It is not found in a youthful past or in things we have lost. Happiness is here, right now, in every moment that we are still alive. Wise elders know that the past is just one part of life, but the present is where we truly live. Happiness is not something we have lost. It is something we can create in this very moment. So, if the past is still holding you back, try setting it down. Let it rest where it belongs, in the pages of memory, in the lessons we have learned. But do not let it overshadow what you still have. Embrace each day that you wake up, that you still see the sunlight, that you still have loved ones by your side. Let each day be meaningful, simple, yet fulfilling. Because life does not wait for us to keep reminiscing about yesterday. It can only be beautiful when we learn to cherish this very moment. If this story resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving deep and valuable lessons from those who have walked before us.